You think of yourself at 100. What does that feel like?
I don't feel like I'm 100. I don't feel like I'm 90.
What do you feel like? What do you feel like in your heart? What do you feel like age-wise?
I just never know it. You don't feel any older every year you get. I don't feel it. I can't do as much as I used to. I have trouble getting out of the swimming pool without the rail.
Is that what you do? I mean, how do you have like
do you
have an exercise routine?
No. Well, yeah, out at Aldersgate, I go Monday. I had it this morning from 10 to 10:30.
What are the things you do now? You know, almost 100. What are the things you do for joy now in your life?
Oh, read and work jigsaw puzzles, and between Aldersgate activities and church activities, you stay pretty busy.
What? So, where you grew up in Alabama?
Yeah.
In like in a small town or?
Small town.
What was it like? What was your where you live? Talk about your house a little bit.
Well, it was a small town, and everybody knew everybody and everybody's business, and half of us were all related. And
did you get in trouble? Did you ever get in trouble?
No.
No, like was that like a hard no or a kind of no?
When I was little, I'd get in trouble, you know.
What were some of the things you did to, like, as a little girl, like memories of things you'd play and?
Well, we'd have spend the night parties, and I'd have stay with a friend overnight, and then when I was, of course, we all had the birthday parties, and on Halloween we all went trick or treating.
That had to be crazy having your birthday be on Halloween.
Yeah, but we would all go trick-or-treating and then come back to the house and bob for apples. And Mama would dress up as a witch, and she would tell fortunes, and we just had a lot of fun.
Do you remember, like, what was like a costume that you wore?
Huh?
What kind of a costume did you wear?
Well, I always wanted to wear something that I thought would be real cute. But it always turned cold, and I had to wear a coat over it, so it didn't make much difference. But any kind of costume, it would be different every year.
And so, little girl, then all of a sudden, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had one sister, 15 years difference. I was in the 10th grade when she was born.
Okay.
And
that's
then
pretty.
I had a cousin who came to live with us when she was 6 years old, and she stayed until she went to college, and we were just like, we grew up together just like two sisters.
Yeah, it's because everything, you know, kids now get so, you know, it's so much, whether it's phones or television or whatever, like it feels like it was when you were young, it was a little hell. Even for me, it was like it was all playing outside, and it wasn't.
Yeah, we played outside till dark, and then they'd have to call us in. We played red light and stop and all those different things.
Did you roller skate?
Sure, we did. We roller skated at the church too. In fact, my husband grew up in the country. And I said, you mean you don't know how to roller skate? He said they didn't have paved roads in the country. So he learned to skate too, so we would skate up at the church.
So how did you meet your husband?
His family moved to Northport when I was in the 12th grade, and he was in the 11th grade. It was toward the end of school. And of course we were all excited about this good-looking young man that had just moved to the school, and like I said, we all knew one another and all got together at parties and everything. It wasn't so much dating or anything, it was just a group getting together. And so we all went out, and then I graduated and went off to University of Montevallo. It was Alabama College for Women then. And he finished high school. When I got back that summer, I ran into him at the bank. He was going in the bank, I was coming out. And he had just started the university and was having trouble with some of his math or something, and I had just finished it. So I said, well, I'll help you. And so then he asked me to go out, and we started dating. And
when he asked you to help for your math, were you thinking in the back of your mind, maybe?
yeah, I thought, ooh. No, I was just one of those things. I thought, sure, I'll help you. So I did. And
isn't it funny to look back on your life and think about that trip to the bank?
yeah.
How your whole life changed because of that trip to the bank.
It did.
So was he a romantic guy?
Oh, yes, he was. He would always send me, in fact, I kept all the letters that he had written from that summer when, that same summer that we started dating. I went off to Virginia with a friend from college to see her brother in the Navy. And I would write him a letter and sign it, your friend, Denise. And he wrote me a letter back and said, can't believe you called me your friend.
And so how many years later did you get married?
Well, let's see, I finished, must have been after 1944, and we married. Well, he, of course, went off to the service, and I finished college. He came back and started the university, and he was still going to the university when we married in 47.
So what did he do was he in World War II, or was
World War II.
Okay, so what did he do?
He was in the Air Force. He was a radar operator. They would go out and search for planes that had gone down or that would disappear, you know.
In what part of the world was he?
It was here. It was
here. Okay, all right. So he stayed in the U.S.
No, he never had active duty except just to go out and rescue. He was the rescue mission.
So then all of a sudden, so he comes back. And what was college like? What was, you think of, was it you said an all-female college?
It was when I went, but the last year they let 6 veterans enroll. And of course after that, more veterans came, and then they made it co-ed and renamed it University of Montevallo instead of Alabama College for Women. But we had different groups that I majored in biology, and I was going to be a medical technologist. And
was that because so many women that I've talked to in that era, like their college was kind of home ec and education, so was that rare to be a woman in biology, or
no?
You're not at your school?
No.
Did you? And then so then did you use that at all? Did you have that, or did
No, I got married. I graduated from college in June, and we married in July.
Okay. Wow, that was pretty quick then.
It was. And he traveled. Well, after he finished college, he graduated in the middle of the year. And
when you think back of that, like when you think about that era in your life, what is it? What comes to mind?
What time? You mean when we got married?
Yeah, just just that time in your life.
Well, we got married, and his uncle had built a garage apartment that was kind of up on stilts and behind his house. So he rented that to us, and we lived there until 1950. And then after Jack had graduated, he didn't get in med school. At that time, even the doctor's sons weren't getting in med school, and he didn't get it. So our friend said, well, why don't you apply for a drug salesman? So he did, and we thought we were going to be sent to someplace in Alabama. But just before, they changed it and said, nope, you're going to be sent to Meridian. And I thought, oh no. All I could remember was the old ice house and the old highways coming through Meridian. But we moved here and rented an apartment with this really sweet lady, Miss Culpepper. And she was just like a second mama. She said, you'll visit a lot of churches, but you'll join First Baptist. And sure enough, we did. But it was great. I've loved Meridian ever since.
What was like in the, so you had kids, your kids came pretty quick, or after you got married?
No, in fact, we had been trying to have children and went through all of the different things you have to go through, and finally when I was 44, we had gone on a camping trip, and when we came back, I had a miscarriage and I didn't know what it was, and called the doctor, and who was a friend of ours. In fact, they were all coming over to have ice cream that night, and he said, I think you were pregnant. And I said, well, that's unusual. So sure enough, they found out that it was. Well, the next year, I did get pregnant. Didn't know it. Didn't have any symptoms or anything. So anyway, we had already adopted 2. And then Lisa was born when I was almost 45. She was born in September, and I was 45.
And everything was okay?
Everything was fine. I didn't have the first day of morning sickness. I didn't know I was pregnant for all that time.
So yeah, you look back at the kind of breadth of your life. What are you the most proud of?
Well, I think of our family, and I had a wonderful marriage. I tell you, he was good looking, he was sweet, he was considerate, he was a fine Christian, he was just wonderful.
And when did he die?
He died in 78.
Wow.
Lisa was 8.
Oh man, no, that's horrible, that young.
Well, he really was. But I've always felt like, everything's gonna work out, and I just live one day at a time, sort of.
Yeah, and so did you ever remarry after that, or?
No, I never remarried. I dated someone for about 20 years who lived in Tuscaloosa that came back. He would come over and take me out to eat and then drive back to Tuscaloosa. We were in high school together. And I accidentally ran into him when we went to Tuscaloosa when we sold my mother's house after she died. And his office was in the same building that I was going to sign the papers for selling Mama's house.
Wow.
I think Aldersgate is the best thing that happened. I decided that, it was too far to go down and take the garbage can down and change lights and everything. And I knew I had my name on the list for a couple of years, trying to make up my mind exactly when I wanted to move. And they had told me it would take a long time. When I finally did decide to come out here, I told the kids, and they couldn't believe that I wanted to leave the house, but I knew that it was time, and it would be sooner or later, so I may as well come on out. And I've enjoyed every day of it out here. I think the staff is unusually friendly, and they'll help you with any problem or any question. And with your phone, I get them all, one day and one the next, because I can't work the phone. But it's a fine place. They offer fun things to do. You can't be lonely. Everybody's friendly, and I like the food. I think it's all good. For teenage girls,
Yes, ma'am.
Teenage girls, that's a good
stay
question.
close to your belief in church and Christian living. I think you need to have that faith. People that don't have faith, I don't know how they manage. Well, but who would have thought that, there were so many different things that have been developed about going to the moon. Who would have thought of that? Going to all these different things into space and all. And that's happened. Well, when I was little, that was just in the comic books. That wasn't for real. But now it is.
One more time. Yeah,
Let's pep it up a little bit.
yeah, let's get a little. Yeah, let's pep it up a little. That was
After
flat.
all.
That was. We got to be screaming.
I'm not dead yet. I went swimming yesterday.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Denise.
Happy birthday to
you.
Denise. It has
Thank
been.
you very much.
It's an honor. It's an honor to celebrate your 100th birthday. Aldersgate is awesome. Thank you for being a part of Vintage Voices, and you are not dead yet.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was awesome.